Welcome to Soon Product Development, where we help brands elevate from start to finish. Today, we are going through a complete fitness series where this episode, we will be reviewing leggings from some of the biggest brands in the fitness industry. We've developed a 5-point ranking system in which these 5 leggings will operate. We'll give them a 1 to 5 scale. And then at the end of it, we will tally up the score and rank them from best legging to worst legging based on the scale that we gave it. The first category we have is the intro to the fabric and the feel. We're gonna break down the thickness of the fabric, kind of the composition and the way it feels, and give that a ranking system based on how these leggings are categorized. So starting off with the Alphalete or legging, we have a estimated 220 GSM, 75% nylon, 25% elastane legging that I believe is double brushed. The initial hand feel of this legging is obviously super soft, so I'm gonna give this a 3.5 out of 5. I gave this fabric a 3.5 out of 5 just because I love the double brushed feel. Obviously it's super peachy, it's super fuzzy, it's very soft, but this fabric is a little bit see-through, and in my eyes, if you're wearing a very compressive athletic legging that is supposed to contour you, the last thing you want it to be is sheer. So obviously with girls, when they're squatting, they're doing Romanian deadlifts or anything that involves kind of like bending over, it's going to show your underwear, and that is definitely not something you want, especially in a nude color legging. The second legging that we have is the Alo Yoga Airlift legging that is an 82/18 polyester spandex 240 GSM legging, and I would give this fabric hand feel a 3 out of 5. I gave the Alo Yoga a 3 out of 5 for fabric hand feel just because it's a little slick for me, so I have some concerns if this legging will stay up or not. Honestly, like it's a nice hand feel, but because this fabric is so slick when you're working out, where if you're doing rigorous activities, I have some concerns as to whether or not this fabric will slip down or not. And then if this is supposed to be a high-rise legging, you don't want it to slip, right? Because if it starts to slip as a legging, it can kind of create some gaping in the waist and the backside, and that just, for me, it doesn't look good in the legging. It's not complete. And for a lot of like these mainstream brands, there's a lot of gaping in the waistband, and that's just because like everybody has a different body type. But if you're making a compressive legging that's supposed to complement your physique, you want to make sure that is definitely not there, because again, that goes also down to grading, and then also like how well the technicality of this fabric was developed. So the next legging we have is the Oner Timeless legging, and I'm estimating that this is a 220 to 240 GSM nylon elastane. For hand feel in the fabric, I would probably give this a 4 out of 5 just because it is a little bit slicker than the Alphalete, but it does have that slight brush effect, and I love that this is a slightly thicker fabric, and it feels just, the way I'm stretching it just feels a little bit more compressive. So when you're chasing an athletic legging, definitely this is a great hybrid. 4 out of 5. So the next one we have is the Lululemon Align. Obviously everyone knows the Lululemon Align, that is their benchmark legging. For fabric hand feel, I would say this is around a 200 to 240 GSM nylon spandex. It feels pretty identical to the Alphalete Aura legging. So I'm gonna say for hand feel, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. Let's see if this fabric is see-through. Barely see-through. I would say like this is a great product overall, right? It's black. It could probably just be, because of the color, it's a little bit more receptive to not being see-through, but it's close to the Alphalete one. So I would give it the same score, a 3.5 out of 5. So the next product we have is the Aerie offline legging. This is actually from Aeropostale. So I was just informed this year, or last year, that this is a spin-off of Aeropostale. I had no idea, but this is their women's only athleisure line. And it's a pretty nice brand, honestly. So apparently these offline leggings are really, really popular, so that's good. I would estimate that this is probably a 220 GSM poly spandex. Again, it's double brushed. Everyone is going for this double brushed feel that gives it this lounge feel, comfortable, second skin feeling. So this is definitely way more see-through than the Lululemon Align fabric. I think the Lululemon Align is more of an interlock fabric. This is more just a non-interlock fabric. I'm gonna give this fabric and hand feel a 3 out of 5, just because it doesn't feel as substantial as the Lululemon legging. The fifth legging we have is the Aritzia TNA butter legging. Aritzia is a women's only brand. They have many different departments in there. I love the style of their brands, and Aritzia is just the athleisure side. This is, in my opinion, a 220 to 230 GSM double brushed nylon elastane. This is a lot stretchier than the Lululemon Align, which probably tells me that this is not as compressive. It's a very low compression legging. It's probably just for loungewear. It is high rise, just like all of the other leggings that we're rating. This is a full interlock fabric. I was actually very surprised. They did a great job on this legging. So I'm gonna say for fabric and hand feel, I'm gonna give this one a 4 out of 5, just like the Oner legging. So the second category is the ratio of what we think it costs to make versus what they charge retail. Again, we're rating it on a 5 scale. And I'd like to reiterate that we are just estimating these costs based on how much we think it costs to make. We're not factoring in marketing costs, shipping costs, every other cost that is associated with a company. So we get a lot of comments on like TikTok and IG that we don't highlight those costs, and it's just because we don't know those costs. We don't know how much they spend on marketing, how much they're shipping. We're just kind of basing on an average order volume of a few thousand units, and it kind of gives us this estimated cost before shipping. So the Alphalete Aura legging is, for the material, I would say $6. Labor, there are quite a bit of different panels to it. Even their waistband is 3 different panels. So I'd like to say that they've taken a lot of extra detail and built these contouring panels in the legging. So for the labor, right around $6. And the branding pieces, they have silicone heat transfers. It's slightly raised, it's individual letters. They have some hang tag. They usually have a tearaway as well. So I'm gonna say right around $1. Bringing our estimated grand total for the Alphalete Aura legging to $13. They charge $68 for this legging. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 rating, just because I believe it's pretty fair for the quality of the work of this, the paneling. So there's a lot of detail that went into this legging. I can appreciate that. How it fits, I don't know, just because I don't wear leggings. So 3 out of 5 for this one. So we have the Alo Yoga Airlift legging now for the second rating. I'm gonna say this is a $4 material. It's nothing crazy, it's a little bit slick. Again, if that's your preference, all for it. But I'm gonna estimate that this material is a 4 out of 5, or $4, because it's a pretty cheap material in my eyes. Obviously the flat lock seams that they have are really, really good, but that's just the quality of the work of the legging. Labor, again, the quality of the seams are awesome. The threads are great. Nothing is out of place, so I'm gonna say $4 for the labor. And branding pieces are pretty simple. I mean, they have a simple silicone heat transfer 3M Alo Yoga on the leg, and then a hang tag that kind of, you know, has a picture on there, so there are some colors in there. I'm gonna say right around 50 cents for the branding pieces, nothing crazy. So on the high side, or my estimation is like $8.50 for this legging, and they charge $128 for this legging. Granted, you're paying for Alo Yoga, it's the brand, right? You're going into the brand, they're trying to compete with the big dogs like Lululemon, so they're trying to hold themselves to a higher standard. But for that piece, man, for the pricing, I wanna say $1, like a 1 out of 5. Not $1, sorry. 1 out of 5 rating, just because I don't wanna give it a 0, right? Every company is entitled to charge whatever they wanna charge, so we'll leave it at that. For the Oner legging, I'm pretty biased, because the first time I saw this legging, I knew that this is a quality piece. No threads are out of place, and what I'd also like to say is that this legging has been worn for a few months and washed many times, just because the person who owns this legging obviously loves this legging. $4 to $6, I would say, for the labor. Pretty simple construction, right? The most advanced part is this waistband here that it kind of dips down, and this is probably a mid-waisted legging. So for materials, I'm gonna say 5 $5 to $7. $7 on the high side just because this is a pretty compressive legging. I love the feel of this legging. You know when you're putting this legging on, it's gonna last a long time, obviously. Branding piece is pretty simple. They have a raised silicone heat transfer. It's probably vinyl, to be honest, but dye to match, right? They have some simple branding pieces. So I'm gonna say 50 cents. And on the high side of this legging, I'm gonna estimate that it's $13.50, and they charge $55 for this legging. I am going to give this rating for pricing a 5 out of 5, just because for $55 nowadays, as a brand that is pretty well established, normally you have brands that raise the price. But for a company like Oner that makes quality leggings, you know that they're gonna try to get out volume to their customers and over deliver on the product. And nowadays, I think leggings are normally in the high 60s, 70s and up range. So $55 is something you don't see very often. 5 out of 5 for the price point. All right, we're gonna rate the legendary Lululemon Align pricing scale. For fabric, I'm gonna say $6 to $8, $8 being on the high side. Labor cost, probably anywhere from $6 to $8 just because that range is pretty standard across the board. Branding pieces, very simple, right? You have your hang tag, QR code, and then you have a simple silicone heat transfer that's 3M reflective. So I'm gonna say like $16.50 on the high side for this legging. Again, quality legging, gonna last a very long time. They charge $98 for this legging, but this legging has been around for over a decade, man. And it's still their best selling product by far. So I'm gonna say that their pricing is pretty fair. I'm gonna say 3.5 out of 5 just because when you're buying a Lululemon Align, yes, it is a luxury product, it's $98, but if you factor in the investment side of how long this piece is gonna last, the pricing is justified. All right, so the offline legging by Aerie is next. I'm gonna say materials anywhere from $4 to $7. Most leggings use anywhere from 0.85 to 1 yard of fabric. So when I always say like $4 to $8 range, that's pretty standard across the board. This one I'm gonna say 4 to 7, right? Labor, super simple, right? This is a pocket legging. It's got a lot of panels to it. So there are some complexities to this garment. It's not just a straight up and down legging with just seams down the side and nothing else. This is a pocket legging. So with it being such a body conforming product, pockets are a lot harder to build than you would think. So $8, in my opinion, for labor is pretty justified. Branding pieces, pretty simple. They have some heat transfer on the inside for the logo label. And then they have some simple hang tags. So I'd say right around 50 cents. And then on the high side, I'm gonna say this legging is $15.50. So for a $55 product, and I estimate about $15.50 to construct and actually have this product, I'm gonna give the pricing scale a 5 out of 5. It means it's fully justified. I think they did a fantastic job on this legging. How long it'll last, I don't know. I don't wear it, but the seams seem all pretty well built. I mean, it's standard, right? You have your flat lock seams. The thread that they use is pretty nice. It sits very flat onto the actual seam, so there's not any seam sticking out or any thread sticking out. So yeah, 5 out of 5 on the pricing for the Aerie offline legging. Last but not least, the TNA butter legging from Aritzia. For fabric, I wanna say $4 to $7. For branding pieces, simple, right? I would say right around $1, a little bit higher just because they have a little bit more intricate of little like woven labels and satin polyester kind of labels, just some textures, some colors, great. So labor, pretty simple. Unlike the actual Aerie legging, this is very simple. It's just some seams going down the middle on the inseam, and that's pretty much it. So labor right around $4 to $6, bringing our estimated grand total to right around $14 for this legging. TNA charges $68 for this legging, so I'm gonna say that's pretty fair. 3.5 out of 5 like the the Alphalete Aura legging. For the third factor, we're going to talk about the durability aspect. Now, obviously, it has a lot to do with the actual exterior shell of the fabric, along with the actual seam and thread work, how it's sewn together, the types of thread that they used. Is it already kind of shedding the threads? Is it kind of pilling? Those types of factors. The Alphalete Aura legging obviously is a double brush legging, but as I'm just kind of looking on the surface of the legging, there's already threads out of place. So the craftsmanship is pretty challenging. Whoever made this legging, there are some improvements to be made. Fabric, I'm not sure, right? Like there's a slight wash to it. It's softer than a traditional double brush legging. So they might have added an additional wash to it to soften the legging. Durability could be challenged. And so I'm gonna say the durability is a 2 out of 5 for the Alphalete Aura legging. The Alo Yoga legging was, for me, I was very impressed with the thread work. They have very strong threads. The seams are very well put together. There's no threads out of place. And honestly, for $128, that's probably what you would expect, right? I mean, to be honest, like if I were to wear leggings and I bought a $128 legging, I would expect it to last for years. But yeah, I'm gonna say with this polyester spandex fabric that's not really brushed, I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5 for durability. For the Oner legging, it is a double brush material. It is very much meant to be, based on the shape of this legging, to be a high performing mid-rise legging. There are some threads that are maybe starting to come undone, but that's just because maybe the person who washed it isn't following the exact wash instructions. But let's just be honest, nobody's fucking hang drying their clothes anymore. Everyone's throwing it in the dryer, and as you're washing double brushed fabrics, chances are when you're drying it, it's abrasing against materials that are obviously going to be rougher. So that has a lot to do with the impact of the actual garment. But that's why I gave the Alo Yoga legging a 5 out of 5, because the threads are very reinforced. With the Oner legging, it's been washed a couple times, so it's seen some challenges, but I'm gonna give this durability so far a 4 out of 5 for the Oner legging. For the Lululemon line, I'm gonna be a little bit biased because I know how long this product lasts just based on the industry. I mean, every brand, including one of my own, has sampled a Lululemon line just to see how good they were. And from every girl that I know that has a Lululemon line, including my wife, this lasts a very long time. So I'm gonna give this durability a 5 out of 5 for the lines. For the Aerie offline leggings, I'm already noticing, again, this is a brand new product. The finishes with the threads are not the greatest. There already are some threads that are pilling, and this is a brand new product. So I don't know how this product will hold up, to be honest, like through the years. I'm gonna give this durability a 3 out of 5. For the TNA butter legging, this is a simple construction, right? You have a gusset, you have a traditional yoke, you have some traditional threading going down the inseam, and nothing else. So that helps with the defects. The more panels that something has, chances are the more it is prone to defects, but they have a very simple construction, right? The waistband is 2 panels, nothing crazy. So I'm gonna say this durability is probably a 4 out of 5. The fourth rating that we're giving it is this product complementary to your shape? I mean, when women are wearing a legging, they wanna feel like they have curves. They wanna feel like it's making them look really good, like their butt is round, their waist is snatched, and honestly, like, make them feel more confident. The Alphalete legging, as you see by the waistband, it is very just contouring. It's concaving to your physique, right? It's gonna suck you in, it's gonna snatch your waist. There's a lot of different contouring panels that kind of accentuate the glutes, the actual like hips. It may give you this hourglass type of shape depending on the lighting. I'm gonna say this is a 5 out of 5 for complementary. For the Alo Yoga legging, this is a straight up and down legging. You're not getting a whole lot of dimension to this product. It's a flat yoke. The material I'm obviously not really a fan of. And honestly, you're just gonna look basic wearing this product. I'm gonna say this is a 1 out of 5. For $128, you wanna look good. I mean, to be honest, right? This is a luxury legging. You can go to Amazon and you can buy a booty snatching, waist snatching legging for probably $25. And you can achieve a better result in terms of the way you want to look. But of course, Alo Yoga does have different features that can justify the price point. And someone just wants to wear Alo just because maybe it makes them feel more luxurious or rich, right? So yes, a 1 out of 5 for the complimentary. Oner, now that I've kind of taken a better look at this legging, obviously it is meant for complimentary. It's supposed to make your butt look good. It's supposed to make you look snatch and athletic because this is an athleisure athletic company. This is a mid-rise legging. The waistband kind of dips down, as you guys can see, but the waistband kind of goes in a little bit too. The mid-rise, judging from if you have a very athletic body type, you're a lean girl, you don't mind showing your belly button, it's gonna make you look really good. But if you're trying to go for this snatched look, that high-rise effect, it's not gonna compliment you like you want it to. It might create some excess hang for your stomach if you have a stomach. So I'm gonna say complimentary, this is a 4 out of 5. Lululemon Align is built for a mom. Let's just be honest. The average middle-aged mom that has a fuck ton of money, they're buying Lululemon. They're buying a $300 jacket, they're buying a $100 legging, they're buying a $200 puffer, and this is not meant to compliment you, right? Again, Lululemon has their specific demographic that they chase, and they're making a quality legging that's gonna last a long time. So your cost per wear goes down. But complimentary, I'm gonna say this is a 2 out of 5. I mean, everything is pretty straight up and down. It is a high-waisted legging, so it's just like the Alphalete. But as you already can tell, there are some key components. If I'm gonna put this waistband side by side, right? These are the exact same waist or sizing, but you can tell the Alphalete is more like shaped in versus the Lululemon. So maybe that gives you an idea of just how that looks in case you don't know how to identify a legging until you get the legging. But the Lululemon Align, yes, it's not gonna really create this like hourglass shape. It's just gonna be a black tight. The Aerie Offline legging to me is designed for a college chick somewhere, or maybe has just graduated college in her 20s and she's a runner. She likes a pocket legging and it just has these extra panels. Maybe she's running to brunch or something like that. But I'm gonna say on a complimentary scale, this is a 3 out of 5. Okay, so for the TNA, obviously this is a high rise and they style it as a cheeky ankle. So I'm guessing this kind of cuts right at your ankle, a shorter inseam, slightly cropped. It has a ultra high waistband. So this could create a fupa for you women. If you have a waistband that's too high, that may not always be the best. You're having these girls kind of hike up their legging to try to get as high as possible to kind of hide that stomach. Great, all for it. But it can kind of adversely react to you to where it's not complimentary to you. But I'm gonna give this an average scale just because some girls with a longer torso do like a longer waistband. Some girls with a shorter torso, this is not the legging for you, I'm gonna say, because it's gonna make you look even shorter. So I'm gonna say that complimentary, this is average at a 3.5 out of 5. So moving on to our last category, which is a very important category as well, is this legging see-through? A 5 means that it is completely not see-through. A 1 means that it is basically just you're wearing like transparent clothing. So for the Alphalete or legging, I'm gonna say, as I'm stretching it, and this is just how you do it, right? You kind of go to the body of the legging and you pull it apart and you see if there's any light that comes through. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and say that this is also a neutral color legging, but if it's an interlock fabric, it should not have that issue regardless of the color. That just goes with your skin tone. But the Alphalete or legging, I'm pulling it, I see a lot of light. I see the camera just by doing this. This is a 2 out of 5 on that sheer rating. The $128 Alo Yoga legging, again, this is a slicker polyester spandex legging. Chances are polyester is pretty sheer on its own. So if I'm stretching it here, I can also see the camera. Wow, this is even more than the Alphalete legging. I'm gonna say for the Aloe Yoga, this is a 1 out of 5. All right, so for the Oner legging, this is a darker brown color. Let's pull it apart and see what we see. Not too bad. I can see some light. I can see the camera just a tad bit, like kind of like the shadow of it. I think Oner is right at that middle. I'm gonna say a 3 out of 5 for this legging. Lululemon Align. This is probably an interlock fabric, but oh, no, I was wrong. Because this is a athleisure legging, it's definitely pretty see-through. I mean, this is a black too, so normally you wouldn't want it to be like this. Actually, when I'm pulling it like this, I can see even more than the Alphalete. So I'm gonna say this is a 1 out of 5. So for the Aerie offline legging, again, the complimentary scale, I'm gonna say this is probably for the girls that are runners, marathon runners, spaghetti legs, so it's not very like pushing the boundary in terms of the fit. That's the demographic that I see is wearing this type of legging. It's not really a high performance type of brand in my opinion. But if I stretch the fabric, wow, this is crazy. This is a 1 out of 5 for me. If I could rate this lower than the Aloe, I would probably rate it lower than the Aloe. So I'm gonna say this is a 1 out of 5 as well. So last but not least, we always have the TNA butter legging from Aritzia. And I talked about this earlier, but this fabric is phenomenal. It is an interlock fabric, and this is a 5 out of 5 for the sheer rating, meaning it is not see-through. So great job on this legging, Aritzia, in terms of choosing the fabric. After the 5 categories, trying to be as unbiased as I can, giving them a rating out of 5 scale, we have come to a conclusion based on the scale that we give it of what we think was the best legging versus the worst legging in all of these products. At last place, we have the most expensive legging, which is Aloe Yoga at a rating of 11 out of 25. I'm a pretty hard critic when it comes to rating products just based on the product intention, as well as the fabric, and as well as the construction, and is it complimentary. So this is 11 out of 25. It's $128. I probably would not ever recommend buying this legging. All right, so next up we have a tie between Aerie and Lululemon. They serve different people. They serve different purposes, different price points. But based on the 5 categories, I gave them both an equal rating of 15 out of 25. The Lululemon is $98. The Aerie offline legging is $55. Whatever you would like to wear it for, however long you wanted to wear it for, I give it the exact same rating. So those are all up to you. Whatever you're trying to go for based on the 5 categories, that's what you go for. I have the Lululemon and Aerie legging beat by half a point, which is the Alphalete Aura legging at 15.5 out of 25. Personally, I think this is a great product. I really do, but I do think the seams, the threading needs a lot of work. I mean, there's so many imperfections. I think the intention behind the design was awesome. There's so many panels, so many contours. So if you want to go for this legging, absolutely you can. I have it rated higher than Lululemon. That's pretty awesome. But again, there's 5 different categories in which you rate it. So whatever you want to go for, I'm going to say this legging is great. I mean, this is a 15.5 out of 25. So we have the drum roll. I have a tie for first place, a tie. I have the Aritzia TNA butter, and I have the Oner timeless legging. Now, again, just like the other 2 leggings, the Aerie offline and the Lululemon Align, they have different purposes. Whatever brand you want, you can go for. If you want a super high waistband fupa legging, you can go for the TNA butter. But if you want a contouring product that I think is awesome, you would go for the Oner. But I can't say which one is better because I already rated them. Both have a 19 out of 25. That's a very, very high rating, very strong rating. Obviously, the Oner legging is cheaper by $13, but the TNA butter, you know, I don't know how I rated it higher, but I did. But the fabric is phenomenal on both. Overall, all 6 leggings are great, except the Aloe Yoga leggings. So maybe all 5, right? Like, it's hard because if I'm trying to think like a woman, and there's a $128 legging in front of me, and I know it's gonna be inferior, but then I love Alo Yoga, let's just say I'm a diehard Alo Yoga fan, and I'm not gonna buy anything but Alo Yoga, I'm gonna buy these leggings, but then I'd be super unhappy. But I'd be happy that I'm wearing Alo. So it's like, it's so hard to pick, you know? And that's why brand loyalty is so dead nowadays. Because you have so many people in the past that would buy all of these brands, and no matter what, they're gonna stick to that brand. But then now there's so much competition for a product like leggings. How can you justify spending so much money on a legging when you know it's not gonna be the best? Especially if you're spending $128 fucking dollars. Damn. And then there's a legging on this table that is $55 that is significantly better than a $128 legging. So it's really hard to just compare and say what price point is what and what brand is what. And hopefully this rating scale gave you an idea of what I look for in a rating. When we're building brands, it's so important to just look at all the factors instead of just the price point and how much it costs to make. There's so much more that goes in depth of how to build a perfect legging or tight, or however you want to call it. Different fabrics for different purposes, different construction for different purposes, but also for different design purposes, and who is your niche to go after. But yes, hopefully these 5 categories kind of highlighted the importance of what to look for. So when you're going out and either you're buying your legging or you're building a brand that involves having leggings, hopefully you can kind of come back to this video and look at how we looked at things, and hopefully you learned a thing or two. So hope you all enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. We have another episode for Fitness Series coming for a different product in similar brands. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.